I more or less know what's going on with my fuel trim tables, but they're all out of whack. Man, this is not the video I wanted to be filming today, y'all. So check it out. I have got a check engine light on my ProCharger Camaro already. The very first night I was driving my car, I got a freaking check engine light. So I drove it home, no problem, as you guys saw. And then I just ran to the store, which is like 2 blocks away from my house. And in that little trip, boom, the check engine light flipped on. Haven't had a chance to actually data log it yet. And so I just pulled the code to see what it was. Basically, it's running lean on bank 1 in bank 2. I didn't drive the car all weekend. That's why I haven't posted, you guys, because I haven't had a chance to get back out to the shop and I'm not trying to drive my car in this condition. But I did drive it a little bit just to data log. And the fuel trims were jumping up into the positives like pretty high, concerning high. But anyways, I'm pretty sure it's a vacuum leak of some kind. I'm kind of hoping it has something to do with the PCV valve because you do kind of hack that up. And so yeah, I'm hoping I've got a bad connection there, and I'm really suspicious, I have been since I installed it, of the bypass valve. They said to use these push lock fittings, which just seemed weird to begin with, and they kind of swivel and stuff. It just doesn't seem like those are, you know, keeping vacuum very well. So that's going to be one of the first things I look at to see if it's that. I'm going to check all my connections around the PCV, and I mean, possibly I've got like a dirty MAF or something like that. I may, you know, if I end up taking the front fascia off, I may just clean the MAF on GP. Let's get into it, you guys. I'm headed to the shop and I'm data logging right now. So I'll have an extra one just on top of that. Let's get it. So I don't know about you guys, but I can't work like this. And boom, just like that, we got this space cleaned up and usable again. Let's figure this out. Back at the shop, new day now. Didn't have any success yesterday. So let me break down exactly what is going on here to you guys. And if any of you guys know a little bit more about this, I would really appreciate any help. So my car threw a check engine light for a P0171 and a P0174, which is lean on bank 1 and lean on bank 2. So when I took my car out and began data logging, I could see that my fuel trims were getting really high into the positive. So the injectors were really compensating for a lean mixture. So the bypass valve, which this hose goes to, is connected to the PCV system. So I suspected was this line here. This line is what they call a push lock fitting. So this line pushes into here and it locks into place. And this line actually swivels. So I was a little bit concerned that this wasn't sealing properly. So what I did is I cut this one off, zip tied the other end out of the way, and I installed these ones that have like an actual nipple on the end and slid this little line over it and connected it to the bypass valve, just in case that's where my leak actually was, because it seems like it's some kind of a vacuum leak. But I changed it. Absolutely zero change in the data logs, and I highly doubt I have an intake manifold leak just because I have zero issues before this and both of the banks are running lean. It's not just one side or the other like you would typically think if you had a leak in one side of your intake. Now the other possibility is a dirty MAF sensor. So I doubt that's the issue because I took it directly out of the air tube hose and put it directly into my intercooler, but just in case, I'm about to pull the front fascia off right now, and then we're gonna clean that MAF sensor, see if that changes anything. The very last thing I think maybe it could be is an issue with an O2 sensor, but I don't have headers, I still have the stock manifolds, and I've never touched my O2 sensor, so I highly doubt that that's my issue. Honestly, I'm not too sure if it's something on my end, but at this point I've rechecked my connections. I've pretty much tried all the possible issues it could be. I'm about to clean the MAF like I said, but I'm kind of suspecting the tune at this point. And it's really reading high fuel trims in the lower to mid RPMs. I got some data logs here I'll show you guys. Now again, if there's somebody that's experienced with this, I know how to read fuel trims. I know that it's reading lean and things like that, but you know, I would say that my knowledge is fairly limited. I know what's going on, but I can't really find out why. So check out the fuel trims and how high they actually get. And you see how they're always reading positive? short term and the long term. I have reset the long term fuel banks and it didn't do anything. This is on the D cell here. Now when I get into the really high RPMs, you'll see, you see how high those values are? Look at that. I mean, it's just crazy. Now when the RPMs get really high, it does start evening itself out. But in that mid to lower RPM, kind of before you're on boost. Now I know what everyone's gonna say, oh, you need to go and get a tune on it, blah de blah de blah, ProCharger's tunes are trash. I'm not saying that you guys are wrong about I need to go and get another tune to really maximize the power. I don't doubt that at all. In fact, I know that. But I have a few other upgrades that I have planned. So if possible, I don't want to spend the money twice to go and get a tune. I would rather get those couple of upgrades and maybe in 3 months, 6 months, something like that, go and get an actual tune put on my car. Because as far as I know, I thought the can tunes were running rich. Mine's running lean. That's not good. I mean, I'd rather be slightly rich than running what seems like pretty lean. Now, from my understanding, it's a kind of normal if it's jumping up 5%, maybe 10% at the most, but it's also supposed to be negative where it's actually pulling back fuel because it's running a little rich. So you guys are hitting me up like crazy. When are you gonna do some pulls? When are you taking it out? How do you like it? Trust me, I want it 50 times as bad as you guys do to take this thing out and have it on the road and be enjoying it. But I gotta play it safe right now. Running lean is bad, you guys. It makes the motor run hot. It's gonna melt pistons. These pistons are already a little susceptible, so yeah, I'm not gonna play around with lean. So let's get this baby on the lift. Let's get this fascia pulled off, all for a single MAF sensor that's 2 screws, but there's no other way to get it without pulling the fascia off. Let's get it. Got the front fascia here removed. I went ahead and I replaced this line. I put the push lock vacuum line back on here. I reattached it at the top just because the other one ran all funky hanging over. As I said, I just wanted to test it. Obviously that's not the issue. I was still having the same fuel trim issues. Brand new set of gloves here. Got the MAF cleaner. I'm gonna pull this thing out, spray it off, put it directly back in, and yeah, we'll see what's going on. I mean, it doesn't look dirty or anything. Well, I sprayed it onto the hot wire inside the MAF. I'm gonna let this hang out for a second, not touch anything, just let it totally air dry. The hot wire looks like it's all good. I don't see any issues. I don't see it not connected anywhere. I'm really hoping the fix is something simple like this, but I don't know. Also too, all the pins on my connectors are all good. None of the pins are messed up. The actual connector itself looks all good. But like I said, the pins on my MAF, no issues at all. So I don't think it's something like that either. All right, you guys, so I haven't drove yet. I'm just sitting here idling in front of the shop. You can see my short-term fuel trim. Maybe it's better there. Short-term fuel trim is looking decent, how it should, but that long-term, that still seems really high. Again, I haven't drove yet. I didn't reset my fuel tables. I should probably do that. All right, resetting the long-term fuel trim. You can hear it bog some. Seeing now my short terms are going way up. Alright, let's drive for a little bit. Alright, you guys, just got done data logging after cleaning the MAF sensor. Zero change. I just emailed ProCharger and let them know everything that I tried about cleaning the MAF sensor, rechecking all the vacuum lines. Again, the only one that was modified is the PCV line per their kit instructions. I doubt it's an O2 sensor, stock manifold, stock primary cats, never been touched, never been modified. So yeah, I'm kind of at my wit's end. At this point, it's seeming like there's something going on with the tune. I'm not too sure. Hopefully ProCharger gets back to me soon. I'll definitely let you guys know what's going on. Again, if there's anybody out there that knows this stuff a little bit better than me, I would appreciate it if you reached out and maybe just help me which direction I should be looking at. All right, man, I appreciate you guys. This your boy ZT Zooming. I'm keeping it moving, baby, and I'm out. Peace.